Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Team Fortress TV for our ETF2L Season 33 Grand Finals between Se7en and Ascent.EU. Before we get underway, we'd like to extend our thanks to Phoenix Red for providing their great mirroring tool for this Grand Finals. Don't forget to check them out on their Twitter at PhoenixRedEU. So without further ado, my name is Lucky, your host for this evening's proceedings, and I'm joined on the analysis desk by eepily and DuMmTm. How's it going, gentlemen?
Good, pretty good. Should be a really, really fun one. The season has been all over the place, but this is the final that a lot of people expected. Not everybody. It's been really close up the top of the top three teams, but Se7en Ascent made it here, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is what we've been building up to all season. I think it's really interesting based on, like, that semi-final game we had. Like, Ascent versus Feint was absolutely crazy. And, like, Ascent's been looking, like, a little bit shaky on and off, like, throughout the season. They've been looking better and better as time's gone by. The fact that they kind of just dominated semi-finals, like, they're looking to be in a really, really good form to play against, possibly some would argue a slightly weaker Se7en right now. I feel like this is going to be, like, a really, really good best of three.
Yeah, so your initial reactions to this matchup, DuMmTm, what do you think your initial reaction coming straight into this game is, just in terms of being this best of three?
It's gonna be interesting. I think we talked all a little bit yesterday, and a good point was brought up, I think, by GrumpyKoi or Caster for tonight, that we have this weird rock paper scissors situation where each of the top three teams have widely different playstyles. Se7en is like this really passive team, Ascent is a super aggressive team, and Feint's somewhere in the middle. And I mean, we've seen in the season before that Feint has what it takes to beat Se7en. Se7en has really easily handled Se7en when Ascent with their aggression, and they just stopped them really well doing that. And I'm interested to see how this will go down with these two, because historically this favors Se7en for sure. But Ascent, like you said before, has been stepping up over time quite a bit. They improved so much with this new roster. They were the only of the three top teams that had more than one roster change, 3 in total. Coming into the season, they had the most work to do to come to this point with their roster, and making it here is impressive in its own right. If they can finally take Se7en down, it's a whole different story, and it's not in their favor, I would say, given the matchup.
Yeah, of course. And how do you feel as a whole that Ascent have done, actually, leading on from that eepily with they sort of had their re-roster shuffle, they picked up Zebasai. Actually, I should probably go down the roster. We got AMS and Credu on the scouts, we got Polygon and Zebasai as the soldiers, Demo on demo, and Connor as medic. So picking up Zebasai and on this roster, and also getting Domo this season, how do you think they've done with this new sort of shuffle they've had?
I think like I said before, like, the first few weeks of the season were looking fairly shaky. There was one important game fairly early on, I believe it was week 2 or 3, where they went against Warren Sons. They got kind of pounded on Granary. Like, it's definitely the kind of game which you wouldn't expect a team like Ascent to kind of have so much difficulty in. Not to kind of throw any shade the way of Warren Sons, but definitely roster to roster, you'd be expecting Ascent to be looking good there. But they spent a lot of time where they just didn't quite have all their stuff worked out. But then I felt like there was a turning point about week 5 or so where things kind of clicked into place. Like, individually, all of these players are like really, really good, right? Domo is obviously an incredible demo. He's not been super active recently. Zebo is obviously an incredible soldier, scout, really, whatever you put him on. He's not been active for like a really long time. So you can kind of see how it took a few weeks to like shake the rust off. Now they've done that though, I feel like it's kind of just like up and up and up. Like, theoretically, this team, the players they've got on there's like got to be one of the highest kind of potential skill ceilings you could be looking at, just purely based on like the quality of their players. I think it's the kind of thing where, like, if today Ascent are feeling a little bit dodgy, they can't get the team stuff together, it might be a case that Se7en just know them too much. They're just going to read them inside and out, do their thing, and they're going to just kind of take control and keep it the whole time. If Ascent are feeling themselves, though, I feel like they can go toe-to-toe with really any of these Se7en players, and it might make for a really, really good best of 3.
Yeah, I totally agree with every point you just made. Like, Ascent, they're really sort of like, when they're on, they are on, so it could be like an excellent group of games that we have. It's only a best of 3 this evening, we're not having a best of 5. I was like, oh no, not a best of 5, so I'm wondering how this is actually going to go, because it could go either way, in my opinion. But speaking about the teams and like the rosters that we have as well, Se7en obviously rocking Thalash and Starkey on Scout, so Starkey moving from the soldier role onto Scout. We've got Captain and Silentes joining the roster off of Ascent, the Devilman of Cadus, and the Medic of Raymond. So are there any significant players to you, DuMmTm, that you think stand out completely on this roster in comparison to the others?
I'm gonna leave the mechanical prowess to eepily here, and I'm gonna just go off the other next best important thing to have, which is a strong voice in the team, the strong caller, which is Cadus. he historically has defined how this team plays, and it will definitely show that they will play differently than Ascent with Amped main call, and that sort of contrast will be very interesting to see and very important to how they play. Has always been. He has been a strong voice to make them play how they are, and it's clearly been working every single time, pretty much. I think I looked at the success they had since season 20 or so. They won everything, but season 28, I think, that they didn't play, and one other one. So they won like 11 seasons, or they did, yeah, they won like 9 out of 11 seasons they played since season 20, which is nuts. And that's just sure the roster was different at the time, but it's always been the voice of Cadus behind them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But coming away from this point as well, we know that Se7en, what we've seen historically as well this season is that Se7en defeated Ascent.EU on Gully Wash and Product, with Ascent taking away absolutely 0 rounds when it came to that game. So do you think that's still going to be in the back of their minds, guys, coming into this game, or do you think that they're going to have shaken that off now that they've sort of more settled into the season? Because that was quite early on in the season.
It's gonna be weird, I think. Se7en brought a really interesting strat to the table, which was like somehow they managed to make Product a map where they can play passive. They always had struggled with Product historically. It's always been like said that it's one of the worst maps, and it's kind of been true. They just kind of put up the heavy and made the other team have to contest that in a way that's totally different from anyone else. And it's been working. The question is if this is something we'll see today. If this is something Ascent is ready for. Credu, I think, also didn't have like a really good game on Sniper that time, which would probably help and make a huge difference if you can just snipe the heavy out of like a safe spot. So we'll see how it goes. Maybe that's just the one difference maker they need.
Yeah, it could be indeed. Do we actually know what the maps are for tonight? I think they're playing. We don't know yet. No. Okay, so we might. It looks like maybe Product is coming up.
Yeah, I've looked at the scrims they played beforehand. The maps I've seen both teams play were, I think, Process, Product, and what was the last one? I don't remember. Process and Product were among there, so that could be potential map we see. Not guaranteed yet, but likely.
Yeah, we'll see definitely. Another question I actually wanted to ask eepily though, while we actually have the time before we start like getting sorted in these games, is do you feel as if the new Se7en roster shuffle is stronger than the last? Because like last time we obviously had Tiger and we had Starkey on Soldier, Starkey in real prowess on Soldier, and Tiger an absolute monster on the battlefield. But do you think that this new Se7en roster compares to the old one?
I feel like it's difficult to say it's better, right? Because like you said, Tiger brought a hell of a lot to Se7en. Like as just a pure wolf frag anything scout, the kind of person who, like, if you're in the same server as, like, there's an 80% chance he's just going to turn around the corner and like two-shot you, right? Like he was absolutely terrifying. I feel like the difference between the Tiger version of Se7en and this version of Se7en now with Silentes is the fact that this version of Se7en is slightly more the kind of, they can afford to be slightly more classic Crownsy, where they can have Stark on that scout role, where he can be a predominant kind of playmaker for the team, and he can do his kind of like Stark magic, right? Whereas obviously playing with Tiger wasn't that same kind of scout, right? So you then had to lean slightly heavier into your soldiers and into, well, obviously Stark even himself on Soldier as well. So I feel like it's more like a dynamic change. It's difficult to argue that from a pure raw kind of fragging power point of view that it's stronger, but I wouldn't say it's in any way significantly weaker either. I feel like it's more of like a dynamic shift, right? Because Stark is an incredible scout. He's one of the best like scouts to have touched the game, but he does it in a very different way to Tiger, you know? Tiger will just like kill everyone, he'll get 50 frags in a game, like whatever. Stark will make those really important moments matter. Like every single situation he has to like make that big play that his team needs, he'll do it, right? It's a completely different kind of scout. And then obviously, you know, going from differences of like Stark Roma to Silentes, it's slightly closer. Silentes, you would argue, you know, I think a lot of people would kind of agree Silentes is really well known for just like his ability to deal damage, his ability to hit shots. Like he's got absolutely like nutty DM. Like alongside Captain, it's you can afford to play with a slightly different soldier dynamic, just where they're like going to hit more shots than really any other soldiers in the game. I think it's more like a dynamic change than necessarily kind of better or worse in terms of raw skill.
Have you got anything to add to that, Tom? Those points, Tom?
Not really. I think eepily covered it really well. Like you said, the scouts are playing fairly different, which is important to keep in mind here. And if anything is to go by, their success hasn't changed. So if it's still working nonetheless, regardless of who is playing what specifically, it's always nice to see that like players can transition from one class to the other on top level, and it just like barely affects them on the actual skill level, like with Saki here.
Yeah, it says a lot about these players. You know, they've been around for a while. These teams definitely deserve to have made it to the grand finals, I'm sure. Like Zebasai coming back into the game though as well after coming back from Overwatch for a little while just to sort of see the season through, and then he's also going to be going to LAN as well and bringing that up as well. I-65 is just around the corner, and I'm extremely excited, boys. How are you feeling about LAN?
That's going to be incredible. Really, we have like so much of the top of Europe going. Se7en, Feint, or Electro, a mix between top 5 and Warren Suns as well. So you have like basically the top 5 almost pretty much coming together going to LAN. Who are the other teams? The Frenchies, who changed their name for LAN, which is not confusing whatsoever. You have Big Boy Season, aka now Big Broke LAN, which basically is the same thing, really. But they made second in Div 1. Really, really strong season for them. Some known names, they are basically like, you know, junior team of the Furists from last season, pretty much, with a few new members. So really, really strong lineup there with Ascent.EU joining as well. It should be really, really competitive. And you have the heavy hitters with Basku waiting in the open bracket as well.
Indeed, there's a bunch of awesome teams, and also we've got like, you know, massive amounts of potential coming from the top of the open bracket as well, coming in as well. You know, you got the Yon team, which is sort of circling around everyone's heads that are going to be in the open brackets. It's going to be really fun to watch all the games, and hopefully we'll see you all at LAN. And if you are attending, we've got obviously a TF2 section, and it's going to be awesome. And I can't wait for it. eepily, are you as hyped as DuMmTm is?
I'm pretty excited. I don't know if I can be as excited as DuMmTm because I don't know if that's a feat reasonably achievable by mankind. But I'm pretty excited, right? It's like it's going to be good. Exactly what he says. Like we've got all of the top teams in European TF2 right now. We have Ascent.NA coming all that distance, like, you know, getting ready to like absolutely frag. Like they're looking pretty good, right? Like they're looking pretty spicy. We've only seen so far, like, you know, like less than a full day of them playing right now. I feel like there's so many good teams that it's literally impossible for this to be anything other than like an actual like big boy Poggers LAN.
Yeah, indeed. So we have indeed now got the maps, ladies and gentlemen, that we've just been given, and it's fat. We've got some big maps, guys. We are seeing Badlands as the first pick, Snakewater as the second pick, and Granary as the decider. So coming into this first map, Badlands, opinions, gentlemen, on what you think about Badlands?
Okay, so this is going to be like controversial, right? I really like seeing Badlands played right now in Prem games, right? A lot of people have some very conflicting opinions, specifically on Badlands last. Like the 1 second cap time, a lot of people are like, no, that's crazy. It's so quick. You don't have the reaction times, this, that, whatever, right? I really like it because there is stuff which will work on Badlands last, which will not work on any other map, right? You can afford to play that map completely differently, right? There's so much like more kind of weird gimmick stuff of like, you know, we've seen double spies decloaking on the point, right? We've seen like triple pain train just bombing straight on the point, like, you know, there's quickies, there's all kind of like absolutely nutty stuff, right? The biggest thing I want to see more than anything is like the fabled triple pain train, quickie bomb, and man treads Uber onto last, right? It's literally the perfect Uber. It is impossible to not cap after doing that. And I swear to God, like either of these teams, right? This is your opportunity. If you're watching now, seriously, do it.
Yeah, I mean, we saw some nutty double spy gameplay all throughout the season, so it's been excellent to watch sort of Badlands take place on these games. But thanks, gentlemen, for your analysis coming into this, and we'll be back again with the analysis in between the games and at the end of the games. So without further ado, thanks, guys. We are now going to throw you over to our casting team with our very own Gemm on production, and he is joined by the casting duo of GrumpyKoi and Bumfreeze.
Thank you very much, Lucky. And yeah, so I'm GrumpyKoi. I've got Bum with me. Say hello, Bum.
Hello, Bum.
And we've got an exciting game to do. First map being Prolands. Dude, it's going to be big. Like, straight up, I'm super excited for just to see how this goes. Any, like, early thoughts from you with this?
Well, early thoughts. I'm going to be the one to state the obvious. I know our analysts even have been hyping this up, but we have to say that Se7en are the dominant force coming into this one. They're in pole position, been invited directly to the grand finals, obviously, from taking first place in the season, and they've been the powerhouse of EU for the last however many years at this point. It's been back-to-back seasons for them, pretty much, only dropping the occasional season in their entire active reign to Arctic Foxes. So let's see if Ascent can make it another slip up for Se7en tonight.
Yeah, I think it's all down to like Cadus keeping hold of his prodigy, which is just always winning. We are going to get the teams actually swatched over finally. Everyone was fighting for blue, so we are going to be going live in a bit. And can I get a quick prediction? We don't need to introduce the teams, which is nice. We can just go straight to predictions. This is wonderful.
I know, we've got all our little minions doing our jobs for us tonight. But if I were to predict, I would say that Se7en are going to win Badlands, probably in convincing fashion. If I had to guess, what do you think, Grumpy?
I feel like I can't disagree with you on that. I feel like Se7en have a bit of a prodigy on Badlands, but because of it's still the 1 second cap on this, as far as I'm aware, unless something's changed. So
I believe we're playing on 2 second cap.
2 second. That changes things. That completely removes my idea. But no, if that's the case, then I definitely feel like Se7en have a really good chance to take the first map. But Ascent have changed up so much. They've been so strong during the semis and the quarters. So I wouldn't be surprised if Ascent brings some things out of the bag. You know, they've really been working on how they're playing. It's more down to it is a 1 second cap time. Okay, I can go back to what I was saying, which is if it's a 1 second cap time, that always adds this huge element of, you know, uncertainty, because you can just stick 2 scouts on it and it will cap in no time at all. You can do the double spy play that we saw at Copenhagen Games. There's loads of little cheeky strats that can whip out, and I feel like Ascent are going to be the ones trying to play that, while Se7en are going to be just playing Cadus's game and how Cadus wants to play, and Cadus is very uniform in how he likes to play the game.
Yeah, and speaking of how these teams play their game, we were talking in the Analysts section about how Ascent started this season off pretty weakly, although now they have managed to come back against Feint, who many people expected to be the team to beat Se7en this season. People were expecting to see Feint in this grand final, but as Connor revealed to us in his interview last week, the team has moved away from Ams's style of calling, and I believe they're now following Domo's command. That could be the reason we've been seeing this switch around in how their results have been panning out and how they've beaten Feint and even got here to play against Se7en in the final. And we'll see if this rejuvenated Ascent can beat Se7en finally.
That's a wonderful point, because I feel like having a Pocket or Demo as your main caller is the kind of way to go. They always have the lay of the land. They're not in people's faces, so they can kind of get a good feel of what's going on with their team. That's why I feel like Cadus is such a good main caller, because not only is he so experienced and knows so much about the game, alongside that, he plays Demo, so he's always got the information he needs. He's always trying to get that going. But yeah, we are probably going to be going live very shortly. So yeah, I feel like because of the 1 second cap, Ascent may be able to go out, but I'm expecting a really close scoreline for this, maybe like 3-2 to Se7en. I don't feel like it'll be Se7en just rocking the boat and taking everything down that Ascent throw at them.
Yeah, with the 1 second cap time, we should be seeing some EU gimmicks. I'm sure we'll see a quickie bomb launcher or two, getting those stickies off the point, getting some annoying, sneaky cap time on the point. Caps so quickly, obviously, in Badlands. There's been a wide debate about whether or not Badlands should even be in the pool, whether it should be 1 second, 2 second, and we've ended up on our rather strange meet in the middle kind of compromise 9-map pool this season. And I know that Ascent were trying to use that to their advantage in the pick bans. They were quite keen on playing some of these new unknown maps. They were saying they were wanting to play Logjam, wanting to play Metalworks, these sort of maps that the majority of people don't play or don't practice to see if they could catch Se7en off guard. But we are going to go live here. This is the ETF2L Season 33 Grand Finals between Se7en and Ascent.EU. Take it away for me, Grumpy, on the first mid.
We're going to be going into this first mid. We're going to see how Domo and Cadus face up on the first exchange. Cadus a little bit quicker than Domo, looking to exchange a little bit of damage as we wait for the soldiers to set up. Zebasai got into shithouse, Polygon down lower, and it feels like Ascent are going to actually be the first ones to make the move with Polygon bobbing across. Zebasai is going to get cleaned up, and now we see Arms going down as well, and Se7en just letting the Ascent team go on to them and manage to clean up, and they've got mid as a result. Credo in the backline though takes down both Captain and Starkey. That was a good little save onto Connor, and he's looking like he wants to go back in. Polygon going to be joining them in maybe a bomb coming across now. Cadus focused on Domo. Could be an opportunity for Polygon. No, Thalash with the cleanup. Solentes down below, and the repush from Ascent
the
looking
force
strong.
comes off. Yeah, Raymond has to force there to this scout on middle. That's Credo who's sneaking around behind. He's even under the point here, taking a 1v1 with Thalash now. Gonna go down there.
That was
at least they made
really
Raymond.
unfortunate. Alongside that, though, Bum, Connor actually got cleaned up by Thalash. Just went into Valley and cleaned him up. So right now on that first mid, very scrappy. No one really taking that much of a charge of the mid fight.
Yeah, Ascent were just kind of waiting down on the floor. Most of their players going under, waiting on their side, seeing what Se7en were going to do. But then when they did eventually initiate the fight, it all kind of went Se7en's way. Obviously, they did manage to, as you say, have a scrappy fight after that. They managed to get some picks back, and therefore when they tried to repush mid, they were able to get Credo in position.
Here comes Se7en on the left-hand side. They're going to be trying to clean up that sentry gun really quickly. The bomb going in from Polygon, trying to clear up space from Tube. They're managing to do it really, really well. Se7en having to back out, and a little bit of a failed push from them, Bum.
Yep, and now Connor, with his full Ubercharge advantage, is looking to come forwards with Domo here. Se7en are 2 players down. Cadus watching a sneaky little sticky trap, but it looks like Ascent are going to walk straight past it. Solentes also hiding in the corner, gets caught out here. I'm not going to get airshot by Polygon. It's a close one though. Cadus still hiding up on these battlements. He's in behind the entire team at this point as Ascent start to cap the spire. But Cadus is going to just elect to leave. Definitely the smart play. There's not much a demo man can do there. If it was someone else, maybe he'd have a chance, but he is going to get out. And with this pick onto Solentes, it's all going to slow down after Ascent try and push through here. Polygon does actually get the 4.
Yeah, they managed to get that force. Connor not using his Uber. It is going to be very much a huge advantage for Ascent. They're going to be looking to come into choke. Cadus going to be looking to deny that though. And right now, Se7en not in the strongest position. Connor doing a good job of pushing out of last without using his Uber. They managed to get this force. They're playing around house. And Bum, right now they're looking for an opportunity to go in. I think Ams wants to maybe take it forward. Starkey in, Captain in, trying to get the force.
Great by Connor there to not use. That was really good opportunistic plays there by Se7en. They knew those players were in-house, trying to go slow. Sil and a scout ending up behind on Ascent. And Ascent just managed to clean it up. They don't really care about those threats from behind them. Connor doesn't even use to it, which is perfect. So now they have another advantage trying to get through the choke, but they will lose amps, and they get the force actually from Zebasai. That was a sneaky bomb in. Connor's all the way on the back foot. Solentes not going to be able to catch him, nor is Captain, so Connor still has his 100% Ubercharge advantage, although he is 2 players down, so they'll have to give up the midpoint for this.
Amazing work from Zebasai there, kind of proving that he's definitely not a subtraction. And I gotta say, Ascent feels so strong right now. They're doing some really good plays. They are stuck on their second, but some of their decision making has been really good, and they're constantly forcing out these Ubers from Raymond. And now they're looking to go in. Solentes having a duel with Polygon. It's going to go down. And Captain going to trade both soldiers down for Se7en. And this is, again, a perfect opportunity for Ascent to go into second, try and get a frag onto Raymond and barrel it all the way to last. Nice little sticky track set up by Cadus there. May be able to catch someone as Raymond just comes down. God. Was that a drop? That was not good.
so close to
Oh
having it,
my
but he didn't
God.
quite get in time. A huge 2-shot from Credu in the banana area around the spire. Although the frags are going the way of Se7en. Cadus all the way in onto Connor, not going to clean up, but with the help of his team, they do get Connor down. It's just Domo left alive on the spire now, going to get cleaned up by Captain with the pickaxe. He's mining diamonds, and now Start is on mid already, getting ready to cap this up.
Yeah, that was unfortunate for Ascent. Se7en doing a good job of, as soon as they lost their med, they got that Uber out, they managed to get straight onto Connor, clean him up, and now they've kind of turned the tables a bit. A little bit of ad, they've got that momentum to go forward, and having momentum coming into second is so important. They can't let Ascent do exactly what they're doing right now, Bum, which is they're denying them from going in. They're trying to spam them out, not let them have any more momentum, and it is going to be difficult for Se7en to go forward. They're going to have about 20% ad, but unless Raymond's completely on the ball right now, they're probably not going to use it. They're looking to go in, actually.
They are. Captain did a cheeky bomb into the skybox just to scout out their positions, and they know that Connor's hiding there behind that spire, so they're going to come in now. Suentes onto Domo, actually. That's a crucial pick. He will go down, but there's a demo down on the side of Ascent, so all the fighting happening around Choke now, Grum.
Yeah, and the Ubers have been exchanged. Am's cleaning up some damage, and they've been moving forward. The exchange looking a little stronger for Se7en. Se7en able to back out, but the pressure's coming in from Zevasai as he bombs, gets denied by Starkey, but the pressure coming out of Ascent, pushing Starkey out, and right now, Ascent got that momentum again. They've got the picks. They should be going forward. Zevasai looking to create that space. They're pushing in piece by piece. Salentes trying to deny, but now they're getting collapsed upon. Se7en with a perfect counter attack. And Bum, looks like Se7en stabilizing, looking to go in, taking their advantage where they need to, and they're going to get this mid.
Yeah, brilliantly baiting them into the choke. Captain playing around that Haunter position, just jumps in off the patio and manages to get everyone caught up in their little sticky trap in the choke there. Now, Se7en don't have an advantage anymore. They're going to let it go. It was only about a 10% advantage. So we may be seeing the first stalemate of the game. Captain's doing another one of his scouting out the area, bombs up into the skybox. What do you reckon they're going to try and do to break out of this, Grumpy?
Well, a sacking from Salentes might be a good opportunity. Going to do the big bomb actually straight on to Connor. Connor surfs it away, but that was a beautiful bomb coming out of Salentes. Almost like read my mind about what I was going to say. That was beautiful. Did you see that little skip jump?
I know, that was very...
Captain would be proud.
A fancy one. And now the counter sack in from Polygon. He's just going to get behind here. And actually both soldiers in Credu up on the ramp as well, actually getting in behind them. Polygon's causing chaos as well, takes down Salentes over towards that shithouse position, and Polygon does manage to slither out into the back lines. He will get cleaned up by Thalash.
He nearly got away, tried to do the sneak.
In the meantime, it's a 2-for-3 trade, so Captain's getting all the space in on second. Zevasai is going to contest him on the spire, which lets Captain get straight in onto the medic. He's going to force off Connor in the lobby. That was such a nice bait and switch.
What a force. Really good job baiting onto the point, then going straight onto Connor, getting full advantage for Se7en. And as they regroup, Domo's going to be wanting to stay in to set up traps, but get back. They're going to be holding last. Everyone's going to have to put 100% effort in dealing with this 100% Uber ad. Sentry gun going up. Captain going to be up in 9 seconds. They're probably going to wait for it. They've got so much time. But Connor is going to be building like mad. And
yeah, and that Sentry's going to be building like mad. They are going to go in. Well, it's still level 2. Ams is just in the door on Pyro, not denying anything. Polygon's going to drop out of the tube as well. And the Stickies get debt. So this is perfect for Se7en if they can just play the point anymore. But it looks like they're getting cleaned up towards main. They're going to have to be getting out, but the soldiers still have the high ground advantage. Salentes just staying alive up there long enough to get an arrow. And the battle of attrition will go Se7en's way as they get their first round.
I thought they made a huge mistake when Cadus sacked onto point and went down. He wasn't able to clear it up. But the soldiers on top dealt so much damage that it meant that Thalash and Starkey could get in at the last second. And managed to clean it off with Domo just being pushed to behind the point.
The soldiers really were the game changers there, surviving on such little HP, but they were taking all the fire from the players on the low ground just to distract. As we are straight into this mid, Se7en goes with a huge fast bomb. Captain into the house with him. All of Ascent playing around the right
huge
side.
amount of damage onto Domo, cleans that up. This is going to be big, Bum, because they don't have that damage, but Am's cleaning up Se7en. They're actually winning just based on attrition, but I know Cadus is going to want to be coming back in. Huge amount of damage onto the Ascent roster, but they're holding this up. With Cadus going down and Raymond actually dropping to the low ground, means that they're just going to barrel into second here, trying to get onto Raymond. He's going to back spawn, and they've done a really good job there.
Yeah, Se7en got a bit ahead of themselves. They capped up that mid just by taking the high ground throughout the entire fight, but then they tried to get into second, but no time to talk about that now as Connor uses straight into last. The Ubers are exchanged in last, and Ams is just going to run his medic out here.
Ascent not giving Se7en a second to set up their last hold, but because the Ubers were equal, they managed to just fit them out with the Uber ad, and now Cadus wanting to bring this forward, going to take control of Spire, spam as much damage as possible, as they're trying to be denied by the Ascent roster, but Captain going to meet the players on Grey Bridge, go down. He is going to be so low, but Polygon in a good spot as well, dealing a little bit of damage here and there, but oh, nice rocket onto Talash, but is it going to be enough? As we see the Ascent roster dropping like flies. Starkey now onto Domo. Can Domo get out? Not going to be the case. Starkey's not going to give him the opportunity. And now Se7en onto Connor. Connor takes so much and stays alive.
Oh my god. It's crazy how both medics stayed alive there. Ascent, it seemed like their plan was to throw everything they could at Raymond. They knew they were losing that fight. They just wanted to get that Raymond pick. Domo was in behind. The soldiers were in from ahead. But they don't manage to get Raymond down there, so it will be even for last, but at least Se7en have made it all the way back coast to coast from their last.
100%. This map has not been very stalematey. It's been coast to coast. So much aggression out of both teams, which is surprising with this Se7en roster. They're trying to play off every single counter-attack and every single opportunity they have, but Ascent are doing this the same way. They're meeting post to post to post, and right now, how are Se7en going to get this Uber out of Connor? Because that's going to be the game plan right now. 100%.
Well, that may not even be Se7en's game plan. Their game plan may be to not do anything, but as Stark runs in from the side just for a little distraction, it seems, he does actually get up top and he's going to take down Polygon, which is a very neat little pick. Captain gets Amps on the other hand as well. Se7en gets Zebasai. Somehow all the kills are going their way. Thawash is going to run in to back up his friends on the right-hand side, take down Credu there, as the Ubers are exchanged on the left, and Domo's going to get trapped off.
Domo got mulched there,
Se7en's
but
way.
Cadus commanded his team perfectly there, so they were just baiting players using Starkey, and getting those 3 picks just meant that there was nothing Ascent could do.
Yeah, that was just a real waterfall. After Stark gets in with his help from Se7en on the flank there, as soon as he gets that pick onto Polygon, it's just, they can roll that forwards, getting pick after pick, and we're into the third mid here.
And on this third mid right now, Cadus dealing some really good damage. Look at that separation onto Ascent. They're going to be losing players left, right, and center, but it is actually the same for Se7en. Ascent doing a good job. Am's cleaning up Cadus, having a 1v1 now with Talash, which Talash is going to win. And with only Credu and Connor left, Connor's just going to get mulched. And I think this is all she wrote for Credu. He's going to... Oh no, he's going to get Talash showing off his DM. But again, Scrappy, not 100% in Se7en's favor.
No, it's the same with mid we've been seeing the last few times, is Ascent playing kind of on the floor towards that water closet, and just playing really defensively while sending their 2 soldiers in straight away. Both of them got pretty amazing kills, but it's not enough to just throw your soldiers in. As we can see, Se7en always coming out with more kills in these situations. But as Se7en tried to push into second, Thawash is going to trade for Ampis, and Credu now trying to fight the whole combo of Se7en. He's going to get taken down. And it looks like Se7en are going to be taking second here as Ascent just roll out to last.
Captain led the charge absolutely perfectly there, created so much space for his team. And Se7en just going off those damage picks, cleaning up where they can, and they've done such a good job to force Ascent back onto their last. Starkey in, just like an absolute demon. No one could see him. He was
Starkey.
just in.
He's just doing Starkey things. I swear, every time you watch him, he's either behind or is on the way to getting behind. He just manages to make opportunities out of nothing. Ascent trying to peek out into trash here. All of Se7en on the high ground, and Polygon will get taken down by the trap. So will Am. So, Se7en takes down Domo in lobby. This is all just barrel rolling forwards for Se7en. They use into last as well. Connor has to use straight away to save the point. Cadus getting his stickies all over it. It looks like it's going to be 3-0 unless a miracle can happen.
The spawners are in, but no, they're not going to be enough. As, again, Se7en just playing off the little mistakes and capitalizing on them so strongly. Ascent losing 3 players on a push out of their last is the worst situation you want to be in. It is just not good.
Yeah, Se7en really baiting them into these positions where once they get 1 kill, they can use that space to follow up, get several more. And Ascent looks like they're playing on the ground again as Se7en start playing the point as they have these last few mids. Solentes straight into house. None of Ascent have even left their side of the mid at this point as the mid is nearly capped up. Se7en actually will cap it before a kill even gets traded, I think, and now all the kills are going their way with Ascent still on the floor.
That was all Solentes and Drac then. Sorry, not Solentes and Drac.
Solentes and Captain?
Solentes and Captain, that's my brain. I live in the past, my apologies, but that was Captain coming through shithouse, dealing so much damage, and two-shotting the scout just meant that there was no protection for poor Connor, and he did go down.
Yeah, once again, Ascent managing to get Raymond at the very least. But it looks like Se7en have already established their ground here on second. They will take down Solentes, who was jumping forwards. So now they can push a little bit forwards from trash here. Although Starkey is doing Starkey things again. He's on Spy underneath the grey bridge. He's going to be creeping up any second now. Looks like there's a distraction soldier play here. Yep. He's coming up onto Connor. He's going to get the kill. And he gets Domo. He's trying to face the Amps, but 2 is more than enough. What a huge play from Stark. All of Ascent going to get cleaned up now, just off the back of that spy play. Raymond with the 4 advantage. Credu can't do anything. It's going to be full ad for last hit.
Ascent are being picking apart piece by piece by piece. Starkey throwing in that little bit of spice we like to see. Kato's taking the Uber in on this right-hand side. They're going to be clearing off point as quickly as possible. Stickies are down. Polygon is down. And they just need to start baiting onto the point, getting the time as much as possible. Domo with the last-ditch attempt brings it to 4-0. This is so much Se7en's map right now.
Yeah, this is the kind of dominance that lets you win all the seasons in a year. And I feel like that's what we might be seeing from Se7en again. This is absolute destruction from them. Even when they seem on the back foot, we've seen Ascent really at the start of the map especially have really been pushing Se7en, but they always manage to make the best of the tricky situations and come back. Ascent now being much more aggressive. They're the ones playing on the point here. Se7en all on the ground on their side. The kills are going each and every way. Credu fighting a soldier in the ramp here, and everyone gets cleaned up apart from Starkey on Se7en's side. He's just going to hide behind them in the house.
Ascent just changed up their style so perfectly. Starkey's just distracting. Am's just watching it. But Se7en just kind of struggled on that mid quite a bit. Like, Ascent changed things up really nicely. Polygon and Zebasite over the top did a huge amount of damage. And now Ascent may be able to convert this into a round, Bum.
Yeah, it is even, so I wouldn't hold my breath, but they are managing to force Se7en back at least. They've got out the shutter door, now trying to refight with all their combo here, forcing out Ascent from the choke after getting a kill onto Amps and Domo. So with Domo down, they're definitely going to be getting through this choke. That's an opportunity you can't let go to waste, and now they're all onto Connor. It's all going Se7en's way as soon as Ascent start making any ground. Domo's in for a last-ditch attempt. Yeah, I think that has to be it.
That's round. There's. I don't think there's any way that Ascent are going to be able to stabilize it against this 100% Uber ad.
Yeah, Domo may even be down by the time Se7en start to move. They're going super fast. They might... Yeah, they're just going to go straight in. The sentry gun is on level 2. It's going to go down straight away. And Thrash already playing the point. Polygon's dropped out the tube, and that's that.
Just pure domination from Se7en there. Ascent really had some moments during the start, but Se7en just started reading every single situation perfectly, and it was just their map all the way through. I felt like I predicted earlier that Ascent may throw in these little curveballs, these little interesting plays, but it was Se7en that were doing it. It was Starkey that was throwing in the little bit of excitement and pizzazz.
Well,
and Ascent just played their game and got completely eaten apart because of it.
I'm sure you would have been right about Ascent throwing in those little gimmicky strats if they ever got in the position to use them, but unfortunately, they never even got to push Se7en's last, I don't think. At least I don't remember that happening.
I think they got one attempt, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, all these situations where it seemed to be going so well for
Yeah,
them.
the coast to coast, remember?
Yeah, and when when Credu got that double meat shot, nearly dropped Connor, you thought that could have been an opportunity, but Se7en managed to clutch that back as well. So even though they may not have much to talk about, let's get ready to hand over to our analysis desk. Lucky, how about you take it away?
Welcome back to the analysis desk, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a wonderful, wonderful time watching this absolute train wreck of a game from Ascent's perspective. eepily and Dum, what do you think the special sauce was for Se7en, and what do you think's missing from Ascent? I know, big question, but you have to see that there may have been a bunch of individual plays that caused that W, but is there anything specific that you guys think led Se7en to victory here?
I think, honestly, it comes down to the fact that Se7en found success in every way that they're approaching things, right? I feel like the biggest issue for Ascent is... Okay, so it's like Se7en... The way that Se7en likes to play the game is they like to get advantages and then extend their advantages, you know? Whenever they get an Uber, they very rarely just want to, like, Uber and jump deep, whatever, like, hope for the best, right? There'll be a case of, like, they'll want to be cheeky and take things for free, right? Take this point for free, take the next point for free, take you know, as far as you can go before you know it, they're, like, pushing towards your last, right? Obviously, the way you deal with that is when they're being cheeky, you know, when they're just trying to take things a little bit too much for free, you go there, you nuke them, you frag the hell out of them, and then, before you know it, you've built yourself up a little Uber advantage. They've got no medic, right? But every single situation in which I saw that happen, every single time where, someone on Ascent would manage to find that perfect little opening, get onto Raymond, take him down, it would be like, awesome. And then the rest of the Se7en players would just be like, okay, we're just going to show our individual prowess. We're going to play as a team, but we're also going to individually frag and just completely collapse on the entirety of Ascent, and then just actually wipe them. I think there was it's got to be something like an 80-90% success rate when it comes to just scrappy kind of post-fight situations. When it's like an Uber's been dropped or some Ubers have been traded, or there's been a couple frags either way. The second Se7en would then bulk up and just take that fight, they would just kind of pound all over Ascent. And that's something which historically Ascent have been really, really good at, but they just couldn't get into the swing of things. Se7en found too much success with their refights, and then it just meant that as much as Ascent was constantly trying, they'd get themselves advantage and then they'd lose it just as quickly.
Oh yeah, 100%. eepily, what do you think it was that caused Ascent to crumble so much? Do you think it was that they couldn't deal with the pressure that Se7en kept up, or do you think it was just a few mistakes here and there?
I feel like it just comes down to it was difficult. It was so difficult for them to get the advantages that they maybe it's just a case of they were so focused on getting their advantages that once they managed to have that, they couldn't get in that position to reset, to play comfortable, to play around Connor. You said it yourself when we were just kind of watching the game and the other time, just having a little chat. It seemed to be that they get onto Raymond, they take him down, and then scouts would be in weird locations. No one would be quite with Connor, or maybe Connor just wasn't quite healing enough, so he didn't quite have his Uber. So they weren't in that position where they gain their advantage and then they take that moment just to relax, to chill a little bit, back up, and then move forward as a team. It was always a case of suddenly things were really, really scrappy. They let Se7en way too kind of far into things, and then they'd have to face all these Se7en players in like an equal situation. And you never want to play Se7en in an equal situation, right? You don't want to play against any of these players in an equal situation. That ain't how TF2 works, right? You want to be taking like 3v1s and just like picking them apart, but it just never happened.
Yeah, I mean, with whenever you're playing against Se7en, we've had it like for a bunch of seasons now, where every team would have to sort of cohere to the park the bus Se7en strategy. But we've had like we've had Ascent popping in there, them trying to be mega aggro, breaking this sort of trend, and it's been working to a point. But at some point, I think that it is going to be worth them slowing down their game, sort of playing a little bit more tactically rather than trying to make these on the fly plays happen, rather than playing a little bit more by the book. And I feel like that might actually do them a bit of dividends coming into these next few games. DuMmTm, is there anything that you would like to add to these points?
I mean, we brought it up when we were talking amongst ourselves while watching the game, is how impressive Se7en's mids were compared to Ascent. Ascent was playing from the backwood the entire time. It was so weird. Se7en was just so much faster every time. I think you mentioned on the first or second mid fight, they had just type 6 on the point, and Ascent just still sitting on slope, being so afraid of approaching. And it worked once. They just let them cap and then effectively baited them with a backup. But those sort of things will only work once, and they just never got in a good position to right from the start. They always played from backward the entire game pretty much. They only had like one good position where they could push second into last, really, and that didn't last so long. Like you guys said, they just tried to rush things forward straight away, and they need to just pick the moments better. It's not necessarily that they can't do it, because there were moments where they did. There were like a few Ubers where AMs let things in and it worked really well, but it's just a matter of picking the right moments to do those.
Yeah, of course. So any scoreline predictions from you, DuMmTm, for our next map, which is going to be Snake Water, by the way? Any scoreline predictions?
I mean, historically, it's a bit better for us, but Se7en has been gotten really a lot improved on this map in this matchup, so it's hard for me to say. And given what Se7en has been showing so far, I don't think I have high hopes for Ascent, but I'm hoping for a closer game for sure.
Yeah, and you eepily as we are getting closer.
It's going to be closer. I don't know. I think it's going to be really, really neck and neck. It's difficult to say Ascent's going to come back that easily, but I feel like Ascent have enough star power to narrowly win this one and take it to the third map.
Yeah, indeed. So thank you, gentlemen, for your analysis, and I'm going to throw it back to our casters of GrumpyKoi and Bum.
And we are back. Thank you very much, Lucky, and the analysis desk. Yeah, we're going to be going to Snake Water, the kind of, in recent memory, the notoriously difficult map for Se7en to play on. It seems to be the one that a lot of teams like to pick. The main reason is they're not the most confident on lasses, like last pushes, I seem to find, Bum, personally.
Yeah, but I feel like our analyst desk said, this one is going to be closer. Whether that will mean close is another story after the dominance we just saw. I'm hoping for a much better game, and Ascent definitely, if they've located where their errors were in the last map, they'll definitely be able to focus on it, and they absolutely have the ability to come back into this one. But here we go, Snake Water, first mid. Take it away, Grumpy.
Domo right now, a little bit quicker than Cadus, trying to deal that damage, but we're waiting for the bombs, the setups to happen. As Captain looking to get up that high ground, we're getting exchange from Cadus as well. Captain starting things off, but actually getting denied. But it's all a distraction play for Solentes as he goes in, gets cleaned up though with Polygon. Domo going down, this isn't good, but AMs across the point, getting 2 frags, Starkey being so low, and it's gonna be Ascent's middle.
This is the start that you really want to see if you're Ascent. Let's not get carried away with ourselves is what they're thinking though, because last map, obviously they were dominant to begin with as well. Now it is even Ubers. All these players are going to respawn at the same time, so Connor going to be most likely just waiting to see if he can sack a player rather than take a trade. They'll probably go for some sacks first over here. As all of Se7en just getting into position now, they had their respawners from mid as well. And now AMS taking some space in Saw, seeing what's what.
This is a terrifying situation to be in though, because if Polygon or Zebasai can do some flashy jump strats, like you see some speed shots just coming straight through Saw, sometimes they can be absolutely terrifying. And again, like Solentes and Captain have already proved that their bombs are pretty strong as well, so you don't really know where they're going to come from. And Snakewater lends itself to that sort of super fast flying soldier play. So we may see something coming out of that as they're looking to create a little bit of space here. And Polygon's going to be the first one to start going in, whilst Se7en goes in, cleans up Captain. Raymond at 70 HP though. He's going to have to get the pack, stay alive. Polygon and Se7en are out, and they didn't get the Force Bum. Worst situation to be in right now because they don't have their soldiers. Credu actually taking the Uber exchange and now transferring it into Arms, backpedaling out. Nothing really came of that.
Well, Se7en are going to go in here. By the looks of it, they got their respawns earlier. They're at least poking and prodding into mid to see if they can get anything done. But yeah, nothing is going to come of that in the end. It was exactly as you said, a very fast skip bomb to start it all off with Polygon supporting to get that double sack in. And he's going in again as they try and dry push from the grass area here. Se7en's going to get cleaned up in Saw in the meantime, while the rest of Ascent just managed to take that pick and get out.
Right now, it's pick for pick, it's player for player. No one's really being, large and in charge. It's these little plays here and there.
Oh,
but Ascent are going to use their Uber in. Did they get forced? I don't know what happened there.
That's a really early use from Connor.
That's
I did not
so
expect to see
early.
that. He used right round the corner when Se7en were nowhere near, which leads to a much better Uber for them. They only managed to get Se7en off the back of it, thankfully for Ascent, so they are still in that advantageous situation, at least until they lose Credu and Polygon there. So now they are going to have to get all the way out, just Domo and Connor. Will they be able to get out without being chased down? Looks like they're safe for now. Oh, but he's right in onto them.
Oh.
Captain does not manage to clean up Connor there.
You nearly got cast and cursed so bad there. You were they're safe for now as Captain just comes around the corner looking for blood. And Se7en looking to meet them in choke. Se7en in a great position to deal a bit of spam from Saw and create the space and opportunity for Ascent to come in. And that's what they're looking to do. Se7en taking the high ground, having a fight with Captain. Look at those rockets. Absolutely beautiful, but they have lost both soldiers. And this is not good, but Flash going to clean up Domo and Credu. And this is going to be...
They've lost all their players, but they've got the Force.
Can Ams do it? Can Ams
I don't think he wants to. I don't think he wants to. I think he's going to chill, let his players get here. They did lose all their players there, but they did get the Force, so they have to use this for something. You can't just let all those players die for nothing. They're going to try and get back out into second as Am's clearing the stickies. Polygon walking forwards with his medic through cheese. Although Credu going down is going to put a spanner in the works as Se7en chases them out of lobby. And it looks like Ascent are going to have to let this go.
Big rockets out of Polygon and Se7en right now. They are doing a really good job of denying Captain and Se7en on a lot of things. But they're holding right side. They're holding up close. Ubers are equal. So, and Credu coming up on the sniper. Could we see him pop off potentially? Raymond,
Well,
not
course
the
we could, it's
easiest. Not the easiest med to headshot though out of everyone. Like we're probably going to be looking for some entry picks as Credu gets that buff, looks to get onto it. Only deals 150 to Captain. Tries to get on Se7en, but Se7en pushing him out really nicely. They're looking to maybe pressure Credu. They could look at maybe getting Se7en into a little bit of a cheekier spot as spam is being exchanged. But right now, no one really taking charge. Waiting on Ascent, waiting on that frag from Credu and just not getting it.
Yeah, and Se7en just leaving outside. They are more than happy, as they proved in the first map and in many seasons before. They are happy to let their opponents make the first mistake, actually sacking in a scout here. That's going to be Stark trying to die, probably to respawn on something sneaky. And Se7en looking like he wants to counter-sack from lower.
Well,
He's also going to back up.
The thing is, in this match, you've got three of the best snipers in the world, in my opinion. You've got Starky, you've got Flash, and you've got Credu. And Credu getting Se7en just kind of shows what I'm talking about. They're looking to use him for more entry picks. Raven needs to be very careful because they tried to get Credu in both, but Cadus with the pie gets Domo as well. This is not good for Ascent. They're going to have to try and stabilize. And Starky getting Ams as well. This is going to be all she wrote unless Ascent can do a lot of work with this Uber exchange. But Cadus going behind, just jumping around, going to get sticks onto the point.
Respawns are here though.
The
Uber trade.
though. And it's, oh my god, Polygon staying alive just long enough for Ams to come in. Ams dealing so much damage. Cadus, the last survivor. No.
That is tragic.
Round going to Se7en. What a last push. What an exchange. What an attempt from Ascent.
Yeah, absolutely. As we were talking about before, Ascent, as soon as they lose that one pick, Se7en's using that space to get more and more, initially going 3 down into that fight, but the Uber trade did come out in Ascent's favour as they managed to just delay for long enough to get the respawns. Obviously, Se7en coming out on top into the second mid now here as Captain goes deep. Se7en's going to try and follow up, but they seem to both be getting cleaned up relatively easily. Se7en all moving across the point as Zebasai's counterbomb fails immediately and Polygon gets cleaned up too. Ascent going to have to run away here.
And right now, Ascent maybe having to backpedal out of this fight. It's so much stronger for Se7en right now. I feel once this first round happens, Se7en really start to get their confidence, and Ascent need to stabilize. They need to start cleaning up players a little bit more efficiently. They need to deny Cadus more and not let him dish the damage out that everyone seems to just be at the moment cleaning up on perfectly from Se7en.
Yeah, it was all going great for Ascent when it was all about defending from Se7en, but when it came to their own counter-attack on mid, it all fell apart. There was no presence from the bomb. Solentes now going in for a sack onto Connor. Gets one decent rocket, but a nice surf away from Connor there. Polygon with the counter-sack will pick up Cadus, which is a big demo pick to have in this situation. Ascent clearly going to try and roll this one forwards, taking it on 2 scouts. The trade does come in here, but Raymond hasn't used for a good while. And now Raymond having an advantageous Uber, and they're blocking the exit. Connor has to escape elsewhere. Credu and Starkey both getting cleaned up, so it's a 2-for-2 trade at the moment.
And Ascent looking to come back in onto mid. Ams on the high ground trying to deal, gets Solentes. And is going to go down though to Falash. But Domo with a huge amount of aggression cleans up Captain. But Cadus again with a huge amount of damage. Falash trying to clean that up and get Zebasai, and Cadus still chasing really hard with that damage. Falash trying to follow up again. Polygon up on the pipe, denying Falash's entry. Good work from him. Domo now exchanging, and they're going to be able to stabilize this bomb. Good work on the backpedal from Ascent.
Yeah, Cadus getting so lucky to be alive there. Managed to catch a stray pipe and some more damage. Went down really low. If he had died there, it would be a whole different story. But obviously, as it stands, both teams going to get their Uber charges up fully even. Everyone's alive. What do you reckon they're going to try to do, Grump?
I think right now maybe sending in the Captain for a bit of an initialization jump, and then Solentes coming in on the side. I don't know where he is right now, but Polygon denying up into Saw, but not able to stay there. Too many players around him, and Solentes with the bomb in. This is a good time for the rest of the team to come in. A huge rocket onto Connor, but no. If someone else was in, if they listened to me, they would have got a drop. Hello? I know I'm a midi, but hello?
You should join their comms channel and just ghost them from the STV.
Yeah,
but
100%.
Off of this one pick, Ascent going to try and peek forwards. They take the trade here onto Amps. Raymond uses off pretty quickly, so all of Ascent managing to get back out. They don't put anyone in behind or anything, so they are going to have to dry push if they want something from this. Polygon making a distraction play as Amps runs in with the main chunk of his team through Saw.
They're getting collapsed
all
upon.
the kill.
Solentes, the only survivor left in mid. Raymond managing to get out, but Ascent putting in some work on that mid fight. Woo.
That was a really good trade. After a trade, you want to be doing something straight away. Otherwise, you've done it all for nothing, just for those Ubers to build back up again. And Ascent were straight in there. They knew exactly what they wanted to do. About 4 of 7 met Polygon up on the balcony as Amps just ran his combo through, and they all just took down the kills together with great focus fire. And now they have an advantage for last here, pushing in the shuttle.
They're going to be coming on the right-hand side. Domo's going to be leading the charge, trying to deal with the sentry gun. Doesn't need to, but the heavy's coming out the left-hand side as well. Se7en bombing in at the last second.
Domo's
Se7en's going
capping.
up. Look at the rockets from Se7en! Woo! I'm sorry, but... Oh, Se7en's going off this map.
Old Zebo has returned to the server. Welcome back to 2016 Zebo. And Ascent, a very, very clean last push there. Just did everything they needed to do, got the cap time nice and early, and they've managed to tie it up at 1-1.
Yeah, good work from Ascent. That mid-fight was absolutely perfect for them as we come into our third. And Cadis very, very aggressive over the point, trying to deal some damage. We've got exchanges going. Se7en's going down, and the frags are on Ascent's side. Se7en chasing the whole combo out. Now they just need to clean players and keep hold of Connor, but no, Connor goes down to Captain. Starkey winning out that fight against Ams, but Credu trying to come in. Domo cleaning up Captain, and it's going to be to Ascent, but they've lost too much.
At least Ascent get the mid-fight, but you have to hurt for Connor there. He was absolutely finessing Captain on his side of the mid for so long, but his scouts were nowhere to be seen. He hit about 3 surf. Captain was reloading as he was chasing him down, but Connor will eventually go down, and that's all that matters as Se7en have this 100% Uber advantage, and Ascent know that they have to get out here. It looks like they're going to make Polygon hide behind this hut for a little play. He's going to be moving forwards now with the double bomb. Se7en in nice and high above them, and they do get the force onto Raymond. But how many kills are they going to lose for it? It looks like Credu's going to get cleaned up here as well, caught in by Thalash with the body block. So it's an advantage, but for what, Grumpy?
Yeah, it's an advantage on the Uber, but definitely not a player advantage, and Se7en easily can capitalize on that as they already pressured, and you know, they can't stay in, they can't meet on this second point. They're going to have to back up, get their players up, and hopefully get a repush. But Se7en are so good at counterattacks that they need to be careful when they push out. They can't just like bot in with AMS and try and get the frag onto Raymond, because Raymond's going to be aware of it. He's at 80%. They're pushing in through Cheese right now. Polygon and AMS leading the charge. They're going to cause the back pedal, but they haven't used
So is in behind. So is on to last. So is capping it up. He's in the 1v1. He's not going to get...
Yeah, but he won it. That's something.
He wins the 1v1 at least. Yeah, it's nice for his log.
But it's,
and it looks like
going to
Ascent
slow
are going to clean him
down.
up. Yeah. Stark takes that opportunity to just leg it in through grass, and Captain going for a sack onto Domo as well. The rest of his team in through sword. Connor has to use to save Domo's life there, which is absolutely brilliant for Raymond. He's just healing that scout, legging it all the way out at scout speed, of course. And now Am's trying to take the fight to them, but he knows he's going to have to get out here unless they want to just suddenly become invincible and mulch him.
They're coming in on the left-hand side. Cadis is going to take it onto Connor. Connor, there's nothing he can do. Laid out the red carpet for him and cleaned him up with those stickies. And now it's going to be Ascent's attempt to try and get onto Raymond, but Raymond is already backpedaling out of there. He has left his team. Oh, he's coming back to trying to save onto Captain, but oh, the arrow saves him. Captain with some... So that's Se7en's even, with some beautiful rockets.
But there's nowhere for them to go. They're on the wrong side of the map, unfortunately. It would be great to get out here, but it's the wrong saw, and Raymond is just going to have to go down here.
Oh,
he was giving them the jukes, but the double rocket and the Credu scout to clean it all up at the end. All he really did was delayed his own death.
Se7en's showing his prowess as a pocket as well, confusing the heck out of me, just playing perfectly as a pocket, just switching into that role. It's so good when you've got a player who's so comfortable at both modes of playing soldier. You know, he's not a one-trick pony, and he kind of just showed it there. Getting 3 kills, just taking all the heals and doing some huge work.
Yeah, and although the Syl plays were impressive, they definitely would have delayed a bit. He did end up losing his medic very late, which ends up with working out in Connor's favour with a 50% advantage here, and it looks like they're going to take it in the shutter.
Yeah, and Thalash gets AMS with a headshot, but that's all going to be they're going to get from that, as Domo's going to get that sentry gun down. They need to start clearing point, getting some frags. Cadis would be a perfect pick, which they do get, but they're getting pressured by the Se7en roster. They're going to have to backpedal out unless Polygon creates some space. The Syl goes in. Polygon does go down. Credu going super low as well. The entirety of Ascent need to start backpedaling, or they're going to be losing players as they do lose Credo. Raymond on 100% Uber can pressure onto them. He won't want to use it, but they may be forced out, and they are going to have to use it, cleaning up Domo. No one able to go behind for any gimmicks, and Se7en holding on to their last.
Yeah, a crucial headshot on last there to stop the Ubered scout. So they had no scout in the Uber, and now fighting on grass, trying to get Connor down. Cadus desperately fighting for it and will manage to clean it up. Raymond already holding S. He's so good at predicting when he's going to have to get out, and he's already in the perfect position just to be out without a problem. So he's going to maintain his life and his 50% advantage unless Polygon has something to say about it. Way up in the air. Will get cleaned up by Stark. Credu running on to last, just capping off the point here. Gets a lot of time. This is all going to be slowing down Se7en to get out.
How did Raymond survived on 5 HP there? Zeb landing a... Yeah, how did he survive? I have no idea. That was insane as they're pushing out onto their second. Polygon trying to deny it once again. Zebasai and Ams going down though just mean that Se7en are in a much better spot right now with 100% Uber, so they're going to be looking to go on to mid right now, Bum. As they're going to look straight through.
They use straight through, but Cadus's bomb does not go the way he anticipated. They get absolutely nowhere with this Uber, which is going to be perfect for Ascent as they get their spawns in now. Credu taking a peek into middle, not sure if he's going to get anything here, or if he even needs to, considering his team has maneuvered themselves a 60% advantage. He does get a sightline on Raymond, not going to manage to get the shots to connect, but that doesn't matter as the soldiers taking space into middle now. He takes down Captain, but all of the soldiers are already through. The rest of Ascent backing him up, so Se7en are going to have to get out here.
But Cadus is going to go in for an old Cadus play, does not hit anything, and is going to get cleaned up. That would have been big, but not going to be the case as Credu.
Starkey hiding in the forward spawn. Connor moves straight past him. He probably expects that. And now he is taking lobby with his entire team. This is going to be fast here by the looks. They want to get this trade off whilst they have the opportunity, but they're losing frags everywhere. Stark even managing to pick off Ams again with the sniper. So it's a 3-for-1 trade, and this is not what Ascent wanted to see.
No, Ascent are going to be in a very awkward situation as Captain bumps over the top and Credu gets cleaned up. It's another frag down, and again, worse positioning for Ascent to be in. But the scoreline, still 1-1.
Yeah, in fact, Ascent's first round of the game, I believe, still in effect here as they're tied up on the second map. I don't see anything positive in Credu staying around that long after his team lost 3 pick and getting picked off in Saw there. At least it's not gonna make too much of an effect as he does respawn on the scout. Everything's even, so we are just going to see both teams kind of waiting it out as Ascent start to move forwards. Captain was hiding on the branch there. He does manage to get Connor to force off his Uber with 3 nice rockets, and Raymond obviously already putting all the distance between himself and Ascent. Credu's in behind to try and do something about it, but he's not going to be able to. Raymond does actually use quite a while after Credu's died. I'm not sure what that was to. And Polygon and Amps now in behind. Polygon's going to pressure that point as Amps comes in to fight with him. They're both going to go down here by the looks of it. They're just so overwhelmed, but it's got them a crucial position just to get that force onto Raymond, which is good enough for them. As long as they get more players out, and even the Cadus pick here from Domo won't go amiss. Although Flash does clean him up. It's frags back and forth all over the place here. And Se7en just going to slow this down to cap up mid, and then going to move straight forwards into grass, I would believe. Yeah, they managed to deny the forward spawns of Ascent by capping that up so quickly. So they're all the way into second here. Biden buy themselves some space. Solentes does get picked off, and the rest of them are going to get straight out. Thalash cleaning up Ascent though on the way, so it's now a 2-for-2 trade. Zebasai goes down low and gets picked off by Cadus right at the end. Sneaky sticky trap. Not a trap even, just a sneaky sticky bomb there, and now Captain takes this as his go-ahead to force off Connor. Had to use to save Domo, otherwise they would be 5 players down on Ascent. So Se7en again and again just engineering themselves these perfect positions, and I don't see much of a situation where Se7en doesn't win this round. Full Ubercharge advantage here. The soldiers are all coming in to try and force off Raymond. It's just not happening though. He's managed to cling onto it with both hands.
He held so well there. He held so well. He takes an arrow from Connor though, Bum, and they're just going to go in Australian style. 2 scouts straight in, try to get onto Connor, but their Uber's going to fade soon. Connor gonna get... Oh my god, he got so low, but manages to stay alive. And it's going to be okay for Ascent. They nearly lost everything.
Yeah, it nearly all crumbled, but the resupply bind, saving Connor's life just as he's in the spawn door. Solentes going for another play, gets Domo down with some nice rockets. Will kill himself on the way out, but a demo pick is worth much more than a soldier, so they'll be happy with this. Although Captain does go down as well to Zebasai. So now Se7en are not going to be very happy as they try and get out. Connor does use off his Uber though quite far away, so they're only going to get Cadus with this Uber. That's not the Raymond they would have been hoping for, but it does secure the middle.
Yeah, securing mid, getting Starkey down in the backline as well.
Yeah, as Se7en managed to take all this space over on mid again. Credu, the last man in, will just run away here. Raymond with his full overcharge advantage. Gonna be ordering his troops through Saw. Captain making a big bomb. Just gets a bit caught there. Not making as much space as he'd like to, which does mean that Se7en actually do have to use this Uber. They do pick up Domo and Polygon, but it's not ideal. Credu now feeding in lobby, also going to get picked up. Quite an interesting place to be in, as they do get straight in onto last with those 3 picks. Just another instance of Se7en getting 1 pick and just rolling it into getting all the others. I don't know if it's even them kind of making these plays happen, or whether it's just Ascent getting a bit desperate after losing the first few or first 1 fight, as they just send in more players to try and make up for it. But Domo with a slow rollout here. All of Se7en getting there to the middle. Polygon in straight away, does get taken down pretty sharpish. And now both of the soldiers just trying to clean up Raymond in the back, as all of Ascent do get wiped. We are having a few problems with Grumpy. Oh, welcome back.
I am back. I do apologise. Mumble's not being my friend right now, but it is what it is. But poor Ascent got absolutely crushed on that mid, and having to wipe means that Credu has the right idea. They're going to have to just settle down for last, and it's 100% Uber disad.
Yeah, as our analysts predicted, it's much closer, this map, but it still looks like Se7en are the ones shining. The Ascent curse is not going to end anytime soon, as they look almost destined for another 2nd place here, with Raymond getting ready to come in through under, going to lead this one on to Cadus. Flashes his scout and soldier through as well. He bombs the wrong side, the sentry gun's still up over there, but he's cleaning up the point excellently. All of the frags going to Domo though, that's huge from Domo, gets 3 kills. All the cleanup goes towards Ascent, and Connor stays alive with his 100% Uber.
That was very, very good from Ascent. They dealt with that very efficiently, and that's again the curse that Se7en kind of have with this last, is sometimes it feels like they're not 100% sure how to push it. And they all just kind of stack onto point and get cleaned up piece by piece by piece. And that's what happened with Ascent, with Domo just putting in a huge amount of work and setting those stickies onto point and getting the frags, as they're looking with that 100% Uber ad to come in They know a trap maybe somewhere as they come into kitchen. They're going to use that Uber straight in onto mid. Captain's going to be separated. Traps have been spotted out. Captain has gone down. Cadus backpedaling with the rest of his team. And Se7en out with, again, Raymond's just not getting picked up on these Uber advantages.
I feel like it's these blind, almost unnecessary uses. Before seeing many Se7en players, they hope that they can just get the demo man to bomb in and find whoever he's looking for, but that's not happening so far. Se7en here Ubering in the lower main area, instantly getting Polygon and Domo. Amps does manage to escape with his life as they clean up Zebo, who is also in behind. So Se7en with their Uber get 3 kills, whereas Ascent always seem to just get 1 and never a single medic kill in their Ubers. I believe Grumpy may be missing again, so here on the mid fight we've got Polygon trying to force in onto Raymond, does not manage to get that. Cadus just controlling all the ground from up top, still picking off Zebasai in the meantime. Starkey chasing Credu out, and again it's just player after player on Ascent is dying out of position. They get Connor out, but it's losing another 4 frags in the meantime, which is absolutely securing Se7en's second as well here. Domo's just peeking in, but he's going to get caught out. He has to use the Uber charge. This is even more terrible for Ascent, because Se7en didn't even come in and commit. Like, even after they make Connor use, Raymond hasn't even come in through the door. He can just stay exactly where he is, and he's at no threat at all. He does use off here now, though, as he chases forwards with Thalash. Gonna get onto Connor in grass, and that's another decisive fight for Se7en.
Se7en very much in control right now. They are having a really good time of it. Just Raymond is staying alive so consistently that they are going to be pushing into last right now. Going to be clearing things off, looking to clear people up. Oh my
this could be it. There's 1 minute left on the clock.
This could be all she wrote, as Cadus again. The curse that is Se7en's last push is kind of coming true, as Arms and Credu clean up the last players and bring that last hold to a close.
Ascent need this so fast, though.
Yeah,
Ascent
they need to be so quick.
They need to be an absolute bullet train through here, and who knows if it's going to happen. Connor's come up on crits, of course, just because he wouldn't have time for the Uber in this situation. He's got to go fast. Looks like they're going to come through Catwalk, with Connor going alone through Sword. What's going on there?
Oh, big.
That is a disaster for Ascent. I don't know if that's communication or just panic in the moment, but that looks like it's going to seal the deal with 25 seconds left.
That's so unfair. Polygon did such good work coming out of Saw, and then I don't know what happened. What did they do?
That's, well, all the players went through Catwalk by the looks of it, and Connor just carved his own path straight into the loving arms of one of Se7en's soldiers. So it doesn't even matter who wins this round, because Se7en overall have more. And it's another grand final win. Your champions of Season 33 are Se7en.
Well deserved, well played. It's been an interesting season, and you know, we've got LAN to come up, so we're not going to be completely spoilt for no TF2. It's going to be an amazing event, but you know, I'm a little bit disappointed because I'd like to see it go to 3 maps. I wanted Ascent to bring it back. I felt like Polygon and Zebasai were really putting in a lot of work, especially Zebasai. Some of the plays he was doing was, like you mentioned, old Zebasai. But yeah, any closing words on that, Bum?
Yeah,
or shall we pass it over?
Who knows what's going to happen at LAN, because as our analyst was saying earlier, there's kind of this rock, paper, scissors going on in our top 3 at the moment. Maybe Feint could have beaten Se7en. It's always been looking close between them, but if Feint can't get past Ascent, how are they going to prove that to us in a final anyway? So we'll see how LAN turns out. Do you want to mention a quick man of the match for you, Grumpy, before we throw it over to our desk?
It has to go to Zebasai, personally. Like, he was trying his damnedest. He obviously Se7en played perfectly, but I felt like Zebasai did a really good job of trying to create as many opportunities as possible. So
I'm
that's my
gonna-
man of match.
I'm going to give it to Mr. Staying Alive himself. I'll give it over to Raymond there.
Oh yeah.
Crucially staying alive in so many situations that just let Se7en roll that one forwards. And we'll see what our analysts think of that one. So thanks a lot for having us, guys, and we'll see you at LAN. And Lucky, take it away.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to your favourite place in the TF2 universe, the analysis desk, with DuMmTm and eepily. What did you think of that last game, lads?
It was like after last map, I was a little bit disappointed in Ascent. We know they're good, but obviously sometimes they just don't perform quite to the same level as other days. This game was a lot more what I expected them to play this entire evening. Obviously, that wasn't quite the case, but they've definitely shown up a lot more here. A lot of things that just didn't work on Badlands worked so much better here. The exchanges got them ground. They got the positions to play off. They had like plan B moments as well, where things were going wrong. Like they have a bad Uber, and then Connor just immediately dies. But then these classic Ascent moments happens, where they just immediately turn a bad moment in their favor by just completely surrounding the other team after an Uber exchange and just combine all the forces to kill them. And it was not quite enough. The Se7en is still as strong as ever. And if we're talking our man of the match, I think all three of us agree that it probably would be Captain. We saw a lot of really, really well done stuff by him.
No, keep going. I'm not interrupting you. Yeah, Captain for sure was definitely like the man of the match for us. Like me and eepily, we were just watching him basically the whole time. Like his ability to make space was insane. eepily, your words on him.
Yeah, well, it was more or less, like I said, basically the same conversations we had just a few moments ago, really. It's like, I'm pretty glad that the stream managed to get a lot of their captain POV, because in terms of how he plays Soldier, it's really interesting to see it from his POV, because you get to see his decision-making process, the way he kind of pressures back and forward, and the fact that he's constantly keeping the other team guessing. Like, you can see even when he's jumping, the opportunities that he's taking are really, really solid to get the most ground, the most kind of, extend his own life as much as physically possible while getting as much done as possible. Like the amount of times where he would jump in, achieve something, be it, space or damage, whatever, and then still be on about 150 health when he's in like a position, be it behind them, be it like back with his team, whatever it is. Like, it's really, really crazy, and it can't be overstated how significant that is in terms of just making it easier for your team to, it isn't even just like pushing, it's like, getting any kind of sack, getting any kind of like information play, If you can keep the other team distracted with a soldier that moves around the map like Captain, it just makes your game so much easier. And I felt like Ascent were looking much, much better in so many aspects, so many more things were working for them, but it felt like that may have been one of the big differences. Their soldiers, they couldn't find those same kind of opportunities to make enough happen.
Oh yeah, 100%. They were slowing down the game quite a lot, and I feel like they did have the right kind of ideas in a lot of plays, but there were just a few calls, a few pushes that went a little bit wrong, and they lost a few too many players and just ended up going back to last. And then they had a few other mistakes, and then suddenly they were, losing rounds, and then it was, it's a little bit, difficult when you make those calls. It's good that they stayed positive, they kept going. But the real sort of like icing on the cake, I think, for games like this is like when Raymond got airshot and lived, and like all these little things
that
was
just
don't,
like,
all these
brutal.
little things that don't go in their direction and sort of makes it a little bit worse off for them in these games. Dum, what do you think that Ascent did better in this game in comparison to what they did in Badlands?
There was a lot of things. They had more cohesive plan on mid. Shooter mids were still fairly even, I think, in the end, how they were distributed, but they had a more cohesive plan. They weren't playing from backward the entire time. Even if they were, they had a plan of how to shut things down for the most part, so they didn't have to play from the backfoot straight away necessarily all the time. They had much better plays as teams with the Ubers. AM's Ubers, I think, is something we mentioned before, where you just play really aggressively for the scout, force your way in, try to take position that is really irritating for the other team. I think there was one specific one where he just busted through Saw and got himself all the way on the high ground on mid, and it just forces this awkward decision for the team to take care of him or anything else trying to get in. And if you do one or the other, one side will take advantage of it for the other one, and it makes such a massive impact for them to get an advantage where previously there was none. These sort of exchanges, where I think there was only one somewhat good one like that on the first map, where they had a lot more success with this on this map.
Oh yeah, for sure. But we do indeed, ladies and gentlemen, we have interviews, and we are joined by Ams of Team Ascent.
Hello.
And we are joined by the one, the only, the legendary Thalash from Team Se7en.
Hi.
Any questions that you boys want to ask these two fine scouts?
I'm gonna. All right, yeah, I'll go ahead first. I was gonna be polite and let Dum go ahead, but he didn't. He didn't jump the gun enough for my liking. My question is gonna go primarily at AMS. So we've just seen a really, really interesting game on Snakewater, but I want to take it back to the first map on Badlands. Kind of going into that, we didn't quite know what to expect. We came up with we did a little bit of theory crafting in terms of crazy things you can do on kind of last pushes, and obviously everyone knows it's a map which plays in a very specific way. Se7en, obviously, based on the result, they looked and must have felt incredibly confident in the map. Were you expecting it to go the way that it did? Did you kind of always feel like that first map was going to be really, really hard for you to get a leg into, or did Se7en kind of take things in a slightly different way to what you were expecting?
Well, I didn't expect to get rolled. I mean, I thought we'd put up a good game on it because, like, it should kind of fit our playstyle pretty well. But like, I feel like we've been pretty bad on Badlands always. Like, in scrims, we always struggle on it, and we just generally we try to take fights, but we always lose them when we're like shooting different people. So yeah, I thought it would be the hardest map out of the 3 that were picked for us, but I didn't think we get fucked so hard. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair enough. It's pretty brutal. Going into Snake, obviously it was much closer. I was kind of almost thinking, watching it, maybe if there's 5 or 6 minutes more, maybe we would have kind of seen another round. And if there was some weird rule set where he played, I don't know, 2 halves of 30 minutes, maybe things would be a little bit different. I mean, obviously Snake would have been your pick going into this. Were you expecting it to kind of go down this way as well? Like, were you expecting Se7en to put up as much a fight? You must have been thinking this is, your best shot to take a map off of Se7en, but it still only felt like it was at kind of best, fairly even between you two.
Yeah, we kind of had the same problems on Snake as on Badlands. Like, for the way we play, for that to work, we really have to be like coordinating and communicating really well to each other. We have to be shooting the same targets in fights. We have to have like really good comms. We have to hit our shots. Like, all this stuff kind of has to come together. And I think we found some consistency in scrims with our playstyle recently, where our scrims have been like really good. Honestly, they've been excellent, especially against a team like Se7en. Like, you really have to have like really good execution if you go aggressive against them. Like, you have to not be predictable. You have to hit your shots, and you have to have all this stuff going for you at the same time. So we couldn't really find that at all tonight. And then Snakewater, I think Flash would probably agree, is Se7en's worst map. So obviously we felt like we had a better chance on it.
Hope Gem still exists.
Yeah, but yeah, I thought, even when playing Snake, even though I could tell that we weren't really playing to our full potential, I still felt like we could have taken Snake, because I felt like they were making some mistakes as well. They were usually coming out on top in these fights, but they weren't playing perfect either. So I felt like we could have taken it. But
yeah,
I think if our problems persisted on Granary, it would have been really tough for us, even if we did narrowly like win Snake.
It was definitely it was a really good map to watch. It's got me pretty excited for LAN. Different things happen on LAN, different players kind of get activated. And like you said, maybe on a different day things would have gone a different way, and we would be going towards Granary. But I'm gonna let Dum go ahead and ask some questions. I don't want to take up people's time too much.
Well, I mean, first of all, congratulations to Flash on Love 7, which we completely skipped over.
Thank you.
First of all, first things first, it's like, I could be wrong, but it's like 10 in 12 seasons that Se7en played with, like, on that team page at the very least, that they've won, which is really highly impressive in its own right. So that alone deserves some congratulations, and really well played today. It was a really tough season compared to what often happens with a Se7en roster going into the season, though. It was by no means a free romp straight into grand finals. You had to work a lot for it this time, between both Ascent and Feint Gaming specifically. And that leads me into LAN. I guess it goes for both of you guys, but let's start with Flash, since AMS had this moment just now, which is, expectations for LAN would be like, obviously everybody wants to win, but with all the teams that are going, we have the top 3 from Europe, you have Ascent and A, which I don't know if any of you here have experience with them. So what's like the first verdict here before it's going into LAN the next couple days?
I mean, we're super comfortable and confident, so I guess it's different this year. There's more top teams, and if you look at it from the outside, I feel like we're all like pretty close. Like, anyone could really win on the day. So it'll be, I guess, interesting. we don't have, I don't know, for us at least, we haven't played Ascent yet. I know they landed today in England. I don't know if Ascent played them in the warm-up. I don't think they did, but we're playing them tomorrow, so we'll get a little taste of what they're like at least.
All right, then over to Ams. What is like your take for LAN with your roster going into the other top teams that are going?
We're gonna win it.
I like that.
I love it.
Alrighty,
What do you
already.
think? Ascent versus Ascent Grand Final, yeah?
Yeah, that's the dream.
Oh no, Ascent gets second again. Well, the one that wins for sure is Mailer. He's going to be very happy about that potential outcome.
Rub his
That
hands
is money
together
in
in
the
the
bank,
corner.
you know? Money in the bank right there. That, yeah, I mean, you can't argue with that. That's confidence right there.
Alright, actually a completely different direction that I want to take this, which doesn't really have to do with the match itself, but just with the season overall, which is every season ETF2L does weird things. We all complain, but in the end we're still happy it exists at the very least, but criticism was good. So, with that out of the way, map before the season was a very highly debated topic, as well as the playoff changes, and those both affect you two teams here very much. So let's start with Flash, I guess, again. Your opinion on either of those two?
I think both were terrible changes, especially when you consider that 9 maps are being added, but then the grand final is lowered to 3 maps. It doesn't really make sense in my head. I feel like if they want more maps, you should at least, why not keep the best of 5 final? But yeah, I don't know. I wasn't really a fan of either of the 2 maps. I think it's too many maps to practice throughout the season. You're never gonna get really good at either of them because you only play them once or twice. It's too many maps to get good at, so you just kind of end up not being very comfortable on them in playoffs, so you don't play them. Unless you put a lot of effort into them in like the playoff weeks, whatever. But with LAN as well being a different map pool, there's just no point. Like we were just gonna ban Metalworks and Logjam no matter what, because we didn't really care. We want to play the maps, we're gonna play at LAN instead of putting some scrim time into Metalworks, for example, and playing that in the final. There's no point. But yeah, I wasn't really a fan of it. I thought it was a weird change.
Right, over to AMS. Again, same question. Map pool, playoffs changes being no double element bracket, just single element all the way.
I think the playoff is way better than last season. I don't like the fact that it's not best of 3 or best of 5 final. I agree with that. I think it should be best of 5. But the whole double LM in playoffs, I always thought that was quite stupid, because you play a whole season for seeding, and then if it's a double LM bracket at the end of the seeding, I don't think it really mattered at all. I think the way it was this season was quite nice. I think the only system that I liked better in the past was when they had the entire playoffs happen on one date. I know there's some scheduling problems and whatever with that, but I really like that, because then there was just a hype conclusion to the season every time. It was the 3rd place against the 2nd place, and then the finals after. I thought that was really cool, but I understand why they would want to do it, and I think the current system's good. And for the maps, at the beginning of the season, it was kind of rough for us, because we were a new lineup with that hadn't played together. Even some of the very basic maps, Gully and Badlands and these maps, we had so much to learn on them. We put so much work and theory wise on learning these maps and learning to play them properly. And there was 9 of them, so for each and every single map we had to come up with stuff and how we wanted to play them and how we wanted to push stuff and all this stuff. So it was a lot of effort, and I feel like we would have had a way easier time if there was a few less maps. But that being said, personally, I enjoyed having more maps. I enjoyed the variety. I don't know if my team did, but just on a personal level, I thought it was cool that there was a lot of maps. But I think arguably the old number of maps is just better for everybody. It just makes more sense. I agree with Flash. It's a bit too much, maybe.
Just quickly, I forgot about the playoff change, but yeah, I agree with Ams. I think this is the best system. Having seeding matter during the season, you don't just play 7 weeks for nothing, is definitely the best change. However, I do think 4 teams in playoffs is maybe it's a bit too much. I think top 3 should be fine, and then trying to schedule it on one night is the ideal situation. Obviously with 4 teams that makes it even more unlikely, but it's been done before with 3 teams, so I think that would be a good change. That's all really. I think
yeah, I totally agree with
they're
all
on the right path at least.
Yeah, I totally agree with all the points made. To be honest, I think it's a pretty good system overall. But I hate not having a best of 5 grand final. Like, oh god, it chills me to my bones. I just want to see you guys go at it because it's so fun to watch Ascent and Se7en just sort of have at it all the time on these maps. But I think we're going to start closing things out. So we'll do some shout outs. Ams, any shout outs from you?
Yeah, shout out to my team. It's been a joy playing with all of them. I can't wait for LAN. Shout out to Se7en for a good game. Check out Ascent.EU. It's a sick website. There's some sick hoodies and shirts there. You should go buy some. It's esports as fuck. And yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for
that
hosting.
wasn't esports as fuck though.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Lash, any shout outs from you, bud?
Yeah, shout out to my team, GG's, to Ascent as well. Check out our merchandise on Twitter, Se7en, and see you at LAN.
Yes, you're indeed. Dumb, any shout outs from you, bud?
Also, shoutouts to Ascent.gg. I just opened the website, and the first thing I'm greeted with is Yite and a fedora, so I highly recommend visiting Ascent.gg. Shoutouts to my boys for forcing me to play engineer against my will for 2 seasons in a row. Undefeated in mid, by the way. And I hate it.
eepily, any shout outs from you?
Yeah, several. I'm going to shout out the teams because it was a really, really good game, and I'm really looking forward to seeing them play at LAN. Obviously, shout out Ams and Barrett for coming and doing some little post-game interviews. It's always nice when we get the players here to do that. Obviously, shout out you guys for desking with me. Obviously, our wonderful casters, Grumpy and Bum, were good stuff. I'm going to shout out the Sofa Goons who are downstairs and have been screaming directly underneath me for the last hour and a half. Shout out those guys. And I will shout out the viewers and any of you video gamers who are coming to LAN. I will definitely 100% see you at.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just going to quickly check out a few plugs. So if you want to help us raise money that goes towards the prize pool, I think it goes towards, and also towards the production of LAN, check us out at lan.tf and go help us raise a bit of money. Also, check out all the Ascent merch or the Se7en merch. Go buy all their stuff. It's really good quality gear that you can pick up. Also, thank you so much to Phoenix Red for allowing us to get the Miracast software and all that gorgeous equipment that they've given us to do this cast with. And also shout outs to all of you guys, Se7en, Ascent, to Mick as well, who specifically asked me to shout him out. So also as well, shout outs to anyone that's going to LAN, and I will see you all at, and hope you have a wonderful time. If you see me at the bar, yes, I will probably buy you a drink. So thanks to everyone for watching tonight. Thank you all for enjoying season 33. We love you all. Peace out, ladies and gentlemen.